tone shaping. Putting that feeling into your harmonica playing. All right, you can move your mouth around, create vowel sounds. Or however you want to look at it. But yeah, you can drop your harmonica. You can create. I couldn't tell you how many times I've dropped my harmonica. It's a thing. They do get damaged. Don't drop your harmonicas. Different sounds and different feelings and different volumes without increasing the amount of air that you're breathing through it. You can do, you can create those wah-wah sounds by moving your hand. You can change how you're blowing through the harmonica. Oh, by the way, Lead Belly on Jam Zone. Where did you sleep last night? I showed you some bending techniques where you're just moving the harmonica around. You can move your head and change the sound. There's all kinds of different things that you can do that are actually part of playing the harmonica, giving its feel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another filler episode of Learn Blues Harmonica in 30 Days, also known as If I Had Been More Prepared, I Would Have Had Something to Say Properly Today. Tone is a thing. There is stuff that you should be thinking about when you're doing tone, how you hold your mouth and stuff like that. It's all important. But I don't think that I conveyed any of that, at least not so far. A whole bunch of does not help. Giving it its tone. Good Lord. Yeah, so anyway, another great way of doing tone is like I did last night when I was out doing She Caught the Katy. I started out with the wrong harmonica, and then I had to go switch it out, and then I was getting my mustache stuck in the edge of the harmonica, everything like that. It was a rough one that last night. So, obviously, when you do your hand, you notice we talked about how to hold the harmonica and how to put your hand. You can completely enclose your hand. You can completely enclose the... the whole idea of sitting outside and having construction sound noises in the background, it kind of does play well, in my opinion, with the video that I'm doing, or just really the whole series. Having that background noise is kind of fun. That being said, I really need to have good miking on me if I'm doing that. I need to be able to sound completely clear, and that's not happening here. And then when you open up the harmonica, part of that is because I'm talking into my hands and so on, so that's all stuff to be aware of. And you can open and close it as you're going. You can change it. Now, when you start throwing in those tongue movements, the tatas, and start throwing the... Everybody loves tatas. Literally, all I'm doing is trying to justify what I'm saying by playing the harmonica and saying, look, no, I'm actually doing this, and I really couldn't tell you if I was or not. And then there's screwing up. I like to talk about guys like Little Walter and Junior Wells. Little Walter, really. Little Walter had this really wonderful sound. And he did. It was just this dirty sound. Sometimes he's doing 2 holes, sometimes he's doing 1 hole, and so on. And a lot of people talk about how he's got technique. He's got this amazing technique. I don't think it was technique. I think it was just feeling. And when he did little screw ups and stuff, it was just natural. It was just part of his playing style. Hey, I actually did an edit. It must have been bad for me to actually throw an edit in there. You play, there's a lot of folks that get stuck into... Oh, wait, no, I remember. This is when I started thinking, maybe I should do sections and then cut them together for the final video. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do technique, how you add in this tongue here, how you add in some tongue here, how you do this, how you do that, how you do the other thing. And technique is great. If you can figure out exactly how something was done and you can redo it on purpose, that is wonderful. Okay, go be that amazing technical person. I just personally believe that if you're focusing on technique and you're missing out on feeling and on style and on emotion, you're cutting yourself short. Technique will come. In my opinion, nothing sounds more lame than a technical expert who has no feeling in how they play. You've heard it, you know the type, and it's, well, first of all, I'm saying you know a whole bunch, but you do know the type. You've heard them a million times. They're out there playing an instrument and you're like, oh, that's nice, but it doesn't really catch you. And then there's the ones that they try to fake putting that feeling into it. The really funny ones, piano players. Have you ever seen the piano players that are out there that are playing the piano and they're just like getting their body all into it and everything, and you can tell it's all performative and they don't actually feel it? That type of stuff bugs me. It really does. And you are much better getting to learn the feeling of music and being expressive of yourself in it rather than being technical. And you know what, that's probably what I'm just about to say here. Let's hit play. Focus on expressing yourself with what you're playing. There's so many different combinations of feelings that you can have, and all of those things can be pushed through your harmonica and expressed through your harmonica. Wow, the sound's really bad on this. They can really create. My DJI mic's doing its very best. Part of how you do that is just by expressing yourself with that tone. So, yeah, learn to be technical, learn technique, but learn to feel it. I still maintain, and I've caught so much crap about this over the years, that Little Walter was an amazing harmonica player, not because he was technically good, but because he felt what he was doing when he played. No end of crap have I caught over doing that. When I did these videos, Learn Harmonica in 30 Days videos the first time back in 2010, I did one that was talking specifically about that, really trying to make the point that Little Walter was an amazing harmonica player, not because he had this wonderful technical stuff that made him sound supernatural and so on. The stuff that he did, rather than being super technical, he just felt it and didn't care if it wasn't the official way of playing, and it became the official way of playing. And people just didn't get that. They just kept on complaining about, what I was saying and saying how I didn't know anything and Little Walter was a super genius and blah, blah, blah. And they just completely missed the point. I love Little Walter's playing. How did he get there? And how do you get there as well? I personally think it's because he was expressive and felt what he was doing and let that lead him, rather than I'm going to use this technical thing here and this technical thing here. That's just my opinion. All right, let's hear me ramble on about that as well. Now, his screw-ups his just natural playing and being rough around the edges with what he was doing, okay, is emulated by technical harmonica players all over the world because they want to get that sound and that feeling. And what they didn't, what I think that they're not realizing is that you can get that sound and that feeling by just pushing that, putting your feelings into the playing.
It's almost like I have
being perfect.
an opinion and it's consistent.
Anyway, just my 2 bits on playing the harmonica and living.
Like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. You guys have a great day.